Well, what's funny is we're almost at that same spot today, because while there are mutual funds, there's not many of them today that invest in certainly in grassroots exploration. So it's still the sponsor brokers who pick these stories.
Yes.
And then we've seen more money in the last 3 to 5 years coming from majors in terms of financing when things get a little bit interesting. And what's happened is the banks have been really replaced with private equity. So we're almost back to where we were in the 70s and how we finance these.
Yeah.
But what happens is, so much of the money that is out there today has been chasing low fee ETF. So it's really been a fee-driven business.
Yes.
But one thing I can tell you in this sector is I would never trust my money to an algorithm saying that I should buy these mining stocks, particularly of the junior and the emerging ones.
Yeah, sure.
There's just so many things that an algorithm isn't going to, so many factors that it will not take into account. And I believe that when you come into a market like this, is the active funds, the
active
fund
trading.
manager, active
100%.
trading. My prediction is if we end up with a gold price today or where we are or higher a year from now, is if you look at the ETFs and their return versus the actively managed funds, you're going to see a significantly higher return from those. And when we see that happening, is when they get inflows, is all of a sudden we'll see back to a healthy market again in our sector. Yeah. So it's one of those that it truly is. Only the fittest survive, and what we've had is very few companies that have been able to advance a project. And we've spent $300 million on taking Back River from a concept to where it is today.
Yeah.
And having that financial aptitude and the ability of knowing when to raise capital, what to spend it on, when to take your foot off the gas, maybe tap the brake, I think is something that's very important in times that are uncertain. But I think that we certainly are in an environment today that feels much better than it has in a decade.
Yeah, absolutely.